Our discussion or topic for this morning is all about the Module 4. And Module 4, okay, this is all about the geometry and statistics. But before we will go to statistics, we will have to discuss our the geometry first. So again, module 4 is all about geometry and statistics. And then for we have two lessons actually ni. So we have for the lesson 1, this is all about geometry, and for lesson 2 it's all about the statistics. So we will try to discuss first about geometry in our lesson number 1. So again, we have here, we will just be discussing about the basic concepts of geometry. So we will discuss the point, the line, and of course the plane. Now we have here no an activity that talks about the on engaging towards objects representing the undefined terms. So these are some objects around us that could represent a point or a line or plane. So natin mga objects here that could actually somehow represents no that this is a point, it represents a line, or this one represents a plane. So place each object in its corresponding column in the table below. So we have here the blackboard, the laser, tip of a ball pen. Tapos we also have a corner of a table, electric wire, wall. Yan siya. And then we will have to put this in here. So I'll be giving this one as your activity. So after our class here, I'll be putting this as your assignment. So ito lang na siya i-identify kung si blackboard, asa man na siya mabilong. It could be an objects ba that represent a point, or an objects ba that could represent a line, or an objects that could represent a plane. Asa man siya sa tulo. So, taga to example, si blackboard, it could represent a plane. So, dili ni siya ibutang si blackboard. After that, you also have a corner of a table. So, asa man siya mabilong. So, the tip of a needle. So, asa naman po si dyan ni ibutang. So, kamo ang mahalaan na mag-decide kung asa ni ibutang kini ng mga objects here. And you will be putting that object in this three representation here. It could be a point, a line, or a plane. Okay, so we have here the basic concepts and terms of geometry. So let's decide first about the concepts in terms of geometry. So in a mathematical system, definitions are very important. So dapat no kabaluta unsay mga definition ani ng mga butang kay para masabtan nato siya. Unsay mga definitions ani ng mga terms kay para masabtan nato ang usa ka terms. Now, elements and objects must be defined precisely. However, there are some terms or objects that are the primitive building blocks of the system and hence cannot be defined independently of other objects. So, sa geometry, na ating mga gitawag na point, line, and plane. And we also have the space. There are also relationships like between that are not formally defined but are merely described or illustrated. So in Euclidean geometry, the geometric terms point, line, and plane are all undefined terms. So, okay, gitawag ni siya mga undefined terms. Kasi gitawag na undefined terms, kining si point, si line, o si plane, and are purely mental concepts or ideas. These are just a mental concepts or just an ideas. Okay. However, we can use concrete objects around us to represent these ideas. Thus, these undefined terms can be described. So we have here first the point. So unsa may itsura sa point kana siya, we have point A. So a point suggests an exact location in space. So again, it suggests an exact location in space. For example, nako sa Nemco, Surigao City. So that's a point where it suggests an exact location of the space that I have now. So wala ni siya dimension, and we use the capital letter to name a point. So pag big letter gyud ang ato gamiton para mapangalan ta og usa ka point. So for example, this one is point A. Okay, now we also have a line here. So a line is a set of points arranged in a row. It is extended endlessly in both directions. It is one-dimensional figure. 2 points determine a line. That is, two distinct points are contained by exactly one line. So we use lowercase letter in any 2 points on the line to name the line. So we have here the line M. Okay, this is the line M that, and under the line M na atay points nga R o point V. Point R and point V. So Pag ato i-connect na ng mga points, naatay line nga mahimo. And infinite siya pa right o pa left ang line nga naata. Now, the last one is the plane. So, when we talk about the plane, it is a set of points in an endless flat surface. So, the following determine a plane. So, three non-collinear points, two intersecting lines, two parallel lines, or a line and a point not on the line. So, we use a lowercase letter or 3 points on the plane to name the plane. So, we have here P, lowercase letter man. So, we have plane PQR. Okay, this is plane PQR. So, ingani ang hitsura sa plane nga naata. Ingani ang point, ingani ang line, ingani ang plane. So, katong gigon ta nga, si blackboard, it's an object that represents a plane. So, ingani ang hitsura ni plane. Okay, we also have other basic geometric terms on points and lines. So, the three undefined terms in plane geometry, yung sa ganito, we have point, line, and plane. So, gitawag na to siya mga tulo ka undefined terms in plane geometry. So, relationship between the object or the above objects are defined and described in the activities below. So, we have collinear points. So, kini siyang collinear points. These are points on the same plane. So, mo yung mga points nga naa sa isara or pareha na plane. The planar points or lines, these are points or lines on the same plane. So, okay? These are points or lines ba ni siya that are on the same plane. Okay, so we also have here other geometric terms on lines. So, we have here, given the points A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and H are corners of blocks as shown. So, natay, mo ni si point A, point B, and then line C, point F, and then ay, this is not line C, this is point C sa kini. And then point H, point E, and point D. Now, kung maghisgot ang intersecting lines, ang intersecting lines ini napasabot kay kanang nag-intersect ang kanang duha ka lines sa isa ka point. So, for example, si line DH haman si line DH. Let's see here, line DH kini, makita ra nidyo ako arrow. Uy, makita ra ba nidyo ako arrow? I-follow ra nidyo ha. So, si line DH from here to here, sorry. Okay, so we have here again, line DH is here to here, and si line DC, naman si line DC, o kini, line DH o line DC, nag-connect sila or nag-intersect sila sa point D. Okay? Nagkita sila sa point D. So, DH o si DC, nagkita sila sa point D, and they are called intersecting lines. Kay nag-meet man sila at point D. Okay? Si line CG, kini CG and GF, kay nag-meet sila at point G here. So, gitawag na sa di sila na intersecting lines. Okay? Basta kay mag-meet sila, we call that an intersecting lines. Okay? So, napatay lain ng mga intersecting lines here. Si line AB and line AD, they intersect at point A and they are an intersecting lines. Okay? That is on how you will find for an intersecting lines. Okay, for parallel lines, dapat itawag na parallel lines. So, when we talk about parallel lines, for example, kini siya ang mga lines na dili jud mag-meet. Ang intersecting lines, kay katong lines na at some point, nag-meet sila or nag-intersect sila. For parallel lines, these are lines that do not intersect. Or these are lines that do not meet at each other. So, for example, we have line AB, this line AB here, and line DC. So, di ba, wala sila nag-meet, no? Wala sila intersection point. Si AB o DC, these are parallel lines. Isa pa, si line DC o line CG here, line DH here, and line CG here are also parallel lines. Kay they do not intersect with each other. Wala sila nag-meet at some point. Okay. Now we also have this what we call concurrent lines. So sa maning concurrent lines, we have here lines AD, AB, and AA are concurrent at point A. So we have lines AD, haman si AD, A. Ato sa paggamayan. Ito na eh. Ano din? Okay. So we have lines AD. Kini si lines AD. We also have line AB and line AE dire. So they are concurrent at point A. So no, di sila. So nag-meet gihapon. Mura ni si Jag intersecting lines sa gihapon. But we talk about 3 lines na and they are concurrent at point A. Another example is we have lines pagamayan. So lines GH here, lines GH, GF, and lines GC, they are concurrent at point A. Again, lines GH and lines GC and lines GF, they are concurrent pala at line G. Dili kong line A. That's line are at point G. Okay? Sige, next. Now, we also have this what we call skew lines. So, unsa man yung skew lines? Maklaro pa ba ni Jo? Ako sa gamyan ha, kay para makita sa ubos. Okay. So, kumenta na skew lines, lines DH and EF, haman si DH. This is DH and EF. Again, DH and EF. These are lines or two lines which are neither intersecting nor parallel. So, dili sila, wala sila point na nag-intersect sila. Diya, DH ang CEF to ara sila sa likod. And they are also not parallel. Okay? Wala man, dili man sila parallel because they are on this different plane. Okay? And these two lines do not lie on a plane and are called skew lines. Again, si DH di aka sa gining atbang na plane, si EF to si sa likod na plane. So they cannot be called an intersecting or parallel lines, and kining duha na mga lines are not on the same plane. So maning gitawag nato siya na skew lines. So si lines AE pod, si AE kini padulong dire og si GF kini padulong dire, they are also one of the examples of skew lines. Okay, so daghan para siya ng mga examples for the skew lines that we have. Okay, so please do remember and do not forget about sa kinina topic. So we have intersecting lines, we also have parallel lines, and we also have concurrent lines and skew lines. So natay upat kati mailhan. Again, intersecting lines, parallel lines, concurrent lines, and skew lines. Okay. Sige, next. So we also have here our definition of a line segment. So we have here A, B, C, D. So AD is a line segment. So from E to D here, they are called a line segment. So in a line segments, naatay mga points na A, B, C, and D na naa sa line segment AD. In notation, we write AD or simply ED. We can also name it write DA. AD or DA. Line segment AD or line segment DA, they are just the same. Okay. Now we also have this what we call congruent lines. So when we say congruent lines, these are segments no na congruent if they have the same length. Kung parehang ila katason. So they can be called congruent lines. Okay. Now we also have a definition of a ray. So the ray, a ray is also a part of a line but has only one endpoint. So nakay isa ka endpoint here sa A and nakay isa ka arrow diri sa other na side. So, and extends endlessly in one direction. So we name a ray by its endpoint. And one of its points, we always start on the end point. So the figure is ray AB, or we can also name it as ray AC. So it is not correct to name it as ray BE or ray CA. Dapat ang imo una pagkatukod kay sa end point, adi-circle diri sa may arrow na area. Okay, so we also have here. Okay, the last one is this will be the last one. So we have here the set operations involving its line and its subsets. So since the lines, segments, and rays are all set of points, we can perform set operations on these sets. Again, excuse me ha, wait lang sa. Sige. So again, we will go back here to the set operations involving its lines and its subsets. So, natin itawag na union and intersection of segments and rays. Adi na lang ni nato siya i-appeal.